Yo, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Jack OATz to go. You either know or you don't. And as always, I'm going to start off by thanking you guys for supporting the channel and your boy with all of his crackhead theories and everything else. So you guys are goated and much appreciated. Anyway, I I've been playing with this idea for I want to say maybe like 3-4 months. And it was actually the leaks from this chapter that kind of inspired me to just follow through with it. Because a lot of the theories that I make actually come from how I would personally write a series and what I would like to see, of course. So I thought, you know what? Let's just add a new segment to this instead of, theories. There might be theories involved with some of this, but it'll more so be how I would personally write this series, Black Clover. So we're going to call this segment Jack Clover. So in this chapter is pretty good. And of course, spoilers. It's going to be on the title. So if you open this, that's on your own. That's on your own dime. I'm sorry. But anyway, we see Luck and Asta giving Magna props. Zora's holding your boy up, just like Yami was holding Asta up at the end of his fight. And I just like how Asta puts it. He's like, dude, it took me and Yami to barely put this guy down, and you did it, like, alone. And so, like, I thought that's a very nice way to put it. Magna pulled off the impossible. The impossible. And Asta gave him full credit for that, as he deserved, because he worked his ass off for it. And then Luck, with a very confident sparkle in his eyes, like, I cannot wait till the day that we can fight again. And Magna's like, I'll be the one that's going to win. It's all building up, just the camaraderie between these three, and then for just like the pairs too, from Asta to Magna and Luck to Magna. I think it's super awesome. But then we get a point where they end up walking out of the room, and then Dante's, coming back, not to life, but like he's regaining consciousness. And to me, I'll be honest, this is kind of a review and then into Jack Clover stuff. But anyway, I thought it was kind of stupid that none of them had the mind to restrain him, at least, or to finish him off. That was not the right move. And we're talking about two of those guys being captain and vice captain should probably know better, right? And I'm sure, Jack's not going to have any qualms about killing him, but it's just the fact that they left. All of them left, even Jack, and Jack just came back from the hallway that they were taking off down to. So I'll be honest, I was kind of disappointed that no one, even Asta especially, Asta was at ground zero when Yami says, when everyone was out celebrating the win over Dante, he was like, I gotta restrain this guy, or else he's gonna be a problem if he wakes up again. So I'm a little disappointed that not even Asta would, carry out, something like that. I think that was, if anything, that was a fumble. But Dante gets up, Jack comes back. Now, a lot of people are thinking like, oh, Jack's about to get packed and, all that stuff. I don't know. I can't say I think that. What I see right now is Jack, who is weakened, of course. There's no way he's got a whole lot left in him to fight, another triad. But Dante also obviously low on mana, but got enough to fight, of course, it seems like. So it seems like they're on somewhat equal grounds, meaning that Dante most likely doesn't have gravity magic at the moment. And if that's the case, then this is the natural matchup we've been looking for, is can and will Dante's body magic overcome Jack's ever adapting blades. This is really the match we've been looking for, and with whatever Morris did to Dante, it seems like he's regenerating much more quickly than he was before. So this could end up being more of a drawn out fight than we naturally think it's gonna be. We just have to remember body magic almost has no bounds. He was completely deleted multiple times by Yami's death thrust, and he just came right back. How are we going to get this guy down, you know? But anyway, off of this somewhat review into Jack Clover, how I would write Dante, everyone's jumping off of this train, and I think this is the perfect time to stay on or at least hop on this train. Because yes, Dante has been taking L after L after L after L, and he's... Some people have had him as like, you know, this is the main villain in the arc and blah blah. I've never had him at that hype until about now. I still don't. I still, even in this, how I would write it, I still wouldn't have him as the main villain, but he would be one of the top villains for sure. We have a guy who is completely disillusioned from life itself and from how things really are. He's learned the very hard way that he is not a skilled fighter. Is he strong? Absolutely. One of the strongest in the series, if not the strongest. But he is not skilled with what he has. And this is why he's taking L's. It's a slow realization that, and it was kind of a joke tweet that I made, but kind of true too. He wants a world crawling with devils that are going to be strong as hell, and he can't even handle a world crawling with humans. I mean, this guy is having the most humbling experience of his life. There's no way you guys are going to have him down bad now. There's no way. There is absolutely no way. So, if I were to write this story, Jack and Dante will fight. And Dante, not to say that Jack's going to get packed up, but he's going to get the upper hand. But this loss of control that he has, I feel like is going to extend even further from all of this malice and hatred that he clearly has. And he's even exhibited states of like fear and just complete frustration and panic. He's succumbed to almost every bad feeling a human can give into. And this is something that he starts out his character arc with by idolizing one of the ancient demons inside of the ice. By saying that humans' true nature is evil and everything bad is what humans are really about. So if he succumbs to that with his mana gradually just getting more and more out of control, how I'd write this is that this is a great opportunity to include an ancient demon in real time. Because yes, we did see Licht turn into an ancient demon and that kind of process, but what we did not see was a normal change. Because Licht, of course, used forbidden magic and he used magic stones. So that wasn't, I wouldn't say that's how it's going to look most of the time. So I feel like if he does start turning into an ancient demon, then we see, you know, how they're made and that in fact humans can turn into that. And it's not just particular to elves. And yes, I know Xenon says that they're born of human hatred and blah, 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 but Lex was not a human, so we just have to take things into account. And I know, like, even verbiage is very particular in this series. So, like, you know, the whole demon versus devil thing, it's very particular. So, you know, Xenon puts it that they're born of human, you know, hatred and all that stuff. So it's one of those things. So it's just something we have to see, and I think that'd be very nice. On top of that, I would write this going into the Dante's Inferno arc. Now, this is the second route that we can go. Say Dante does get packed up here. We have a series that has made it vastly clear that there is life after death. So Dante will say he goes to the Clipot. You know, that's the underworld. That's hell. And let's just kind of go back to a video that I had made talking about Yuno, and I talk about a concept of the halls of Amenti, and I even bring Dante and Vonica into this theory that Dante and Vonica are almost spitting images of Noct's parents, and I believe that's for very good cause, because the whole point of living is to ascend the soul in some of these philosophies. So The where halls of Amenti come into play is that once you start reaching, higher levels, devils will try to do what they can to make you believe that the material world is the world that you need to abide by the rules of. And that is not the case at all. So they're very clear in the fact that everything material is any devil's doing. So everything that you're experiencing now, the clothes that you're wearing, the things that you own, the things that you eat, are further binding you to their world and how they want you to live. And the more bonds that you make, the more it ties you to this what ultimately they describe as hell, which is just hell on earth sort of thing. So if you reach that stage and you get trapped in the halls of Amenti by believing that all these material things are this is what I love and this is what I like, I can't let go of it, then you actually get kicked back, and this reboots the reincarnation cycle. You are not allowed to ascend, and therefore you restart your life again. And the optimistic side of that is that hopefully you learn your lesson. By the time you get back there, you're able to let go of these things and ascend to be something greater. Whereas for devils, this is just what they want. They want you to fail over and over again. This is what they feed on. So in my theory, I do say that I believe that Nock's parents could have died. They did die there, and they may have been so dedicated to the devils that the devils had kicked them back into the real world with their own bodies and whatnot, maybe manipulated their memories. And on that, this was going to be another video, but I guess it doesn't really have to be. So who was it? Aristotle, a great philosopher. If you have no idea who that is, look him up. He's got some of the greatest ideas that mankind has ever had. Just one of those great philosophers. But anyway, Aristotle dies, or comes close to death. He talks about a near-death experience where he experiences what the process is like dying and what comes after this. So he describes a waiting room type of situation where everyone gets this. If you think of like the DMV, I know a lot of you guys are young, but if anyone has been to the DMV, and what they do is they give you a number, a letter and a number. So it's like D32, and most likely they're still on A13. So you got to wait all those people before your number gets called. So he describes a system like that, where it's a bunch of people who have died, and they once you're called up, what you do is you are given the option to choose your next life, and it's really interesting because he describes how people that were extremely poor chose lives to be, kings and rich, queens and whatnot. And then people with a lot of power and money chose to keep, accumulating power and money until it had, eventually corrupted them, which he also did see. And then he talks about people with extremely bad lives, not necessarily poor, were picking lives of like animals so that they could live an easier type of life. So it was really interesting, but part of this is that once you pick the life that you want to live, they bring you to the river Styx and they make you drink some of the water. And the point of this is because the water makes you lose your memory of your past life. So Aristotle in this actually pulled a fast one on them, did not drink the water, and actually ended up going back to his own life where he revived himself from death, essentially, and was able to tell this experience, obviously, right? So what I'm saying is that it could be somewhat valid that these are Nock's parents, at least Veronica and Dante, and they, of course, don't have any recollection because of events like this. And I think if Dante dies here, goes to the Clipot, he's going to realize, this is the whole Dante's Inferno part that comes into play now, is that he falls, and then as he's, getting deeper into this, he's realizing faults. But this is not something we would see on screen, per se. This is something that happens when I would have Asta die or fall into the clipot for however many years. And when I say years, I mean that might not be the case in the real world. I do believe that years in the underworld are much, much, time is just much, much different in the underworld, probably a lot slower. Or faster, whatever, however you want to say it, but you know what I mean, right? Let's say 1 year in the real world would equal out to 50 in the underworld. So, with Asta down there during whatever travels he's going to do, he stumbles upon Dante on his own journey, possibly even being tortured. And Asta ultimately saves him and allows him to accompany him on this journey, especially with Dante having some background knowledge on how the clipot works. He would have to, of course, being aided by devils for so long, and if it is the case that he was even Nox's father, he knows a lot of the lore behind this and how some things can work. So this could be a very unexpected ally that Asta comes across. So through whatever knowledge Dante might have, one of those things could in fact be that there is an actual doorway to the clipot. And this is what I talk about many times on the channel. It's called Dot. And it's both in the clipot and on the Sephiroth. However, on the clipot, it is looked over by Belial / Beelzebub. So if I were to write it, I'd have Asta, of course, like I said, meet up with Dante. Dante let him know, I'm trying to get to the doorway. I can't stay in this way. I have to get out. And they find Dot, and they end up having to battle Belial in order to escape. And ultimately, I would have Dante sacrifice himself. And I say sacrifice in quotes because where do devils go when they die? We still don't know. So it's kind of just out there in the void, I guess. But just kind of sacrifice his opportunity to come back to the real world, so Asta can go. And what I think this would do, just character-wise, is that it further extends Asta's, this Christ-like ability that he has to save people from themselves. He's done it with pretty much any elf that he encountered. Especially with Patri, he brought him back from the depths of despair. And that he is the sole reason that Patri is here today. So with that, if he's able to do this with Dante, this would bring it full circle for Dante, where, remember, when Asta and Dante first meet, Dante's stepping on Asta's back, telling him, you're not human yet, not until you've given in to anger, malice, and all of that rage that you have. That's what makes you human. When in fact, Asta teaches him this time that it is not hatred, malice, and all that makes you human. It's altruistic acts like this that Dante would exhibit at the gateway to hell that makes someone human. Now, would I stop with Dante's arc there? No. I would absolutely have him ascend maybe back to the world of the living, or finally be forgiven by whatever god or gods exist in this universe. Because that is the point of Dante's Inferno. So I do see Dante sticking around for quite a while in my book. In Jack Clover, I see Dante sticking around for quite a while. I can only hope Tabata goes this route as well. But this is kind of what I wanted to hash out to you guys. Hopefully you guys liked the idea. If you didn't, I'm sorry. But like I said, this is not telling you guys what is fact and what is not. This is just how I would personally write the story. And for anyone that doesn't agree, thank God I'm not writing a story. So, like I said, I hope you guys liked it. I'm going to continue this segment. I'm going to have another one coming up right after this. So, I hope you guys like it. It's going to involve Lola Pichica and Gaja. And yeah, tell me what you guys think about the idea for this new segment on the channel. hate it, love it, and can do without it, whatever you say. Just let me know in the comment section below on Twitter. You guys know how to reach me. Thank you guys for sticking around this long. You guys are GOATs. Thank you again. It's been Jack Oates to GOAT. You either know or you don't.